So, yeah, Sudarshan, you help me understand. So, identifying not necessarily somebody on a retainer fractional leadership you pay month on month, but an expert advice at the right time is actually worth more than this thing. And identifying the right person, because this consulting and coaching industry has kind of skyrocketed, and everybody is like claims to be a coach or claims to be an expert, whereas there is nothing, no substance to it. And that's where you've burnt your fingers with marketing agencies, because I've talked to marketing agencies, so in the past. So
No, again, I think it's a function of what you're getting done. I think this is otherwise it ends up being very generic. See, let's talk through a simple example, right? Now, I need we are going through a full brand redesign, right? So we have a full our entire brand strategy, logo, all of that is happening right now. I can't work with a fractional person. So we've employed a brand consultant. Obviously, when choosing a brand consultant, again, I'll go back to two, three people and say, this guy, this credentials, all of that, does it make sense? So, but then I need a consultant. He's going to do the job of actually understanding strategy all that, but he'll come back with three iterations. Obviously, then I'll go back to an expert that I know and say, yeah, these are the iterations that they've come back. I have, as a founder, obviously, I have my own point of view, but I'll take a view. He's recommending this. What do you think? Which one is better? This, that. So you will do that. But you need a consultant who's an expert, who's done 20 years of design and brand consulting to be able to build the logo out for you, build your brand strategy out for you, right? So that cannot go away. And there is an advisory or people who will help you, maybe because I don't understand brand beyond a point. So there are people who are global brand managers for Unilevers or whatever who will tell me, "Yeah, this is how you should think about it. This is how I would." I mean, they would not take the decision on your behalf, but a good coach or whatever will tell you how to think about it. Finally, you make your own choice. So I think right consultant, whether he's doing the right job, that as a founder you have to figure out ki what he's telling you is not working out. It's like any other employee, right? If there's a certain deliverable and it's not matching what you have in mind, you know if the consultant is working out, not working out. So I think that's part of the overall process. It works for employees, works for consultant, works for fractional, works for gig workers. I think the process remains the same.
So kind of summing up what all of you said is that it's consulting, fractional, or advisory, or in your friend circle. It's good to take advice. Whether it's paid or unpaid is a decision that is the next question. Whether it is a good advice or a bad advice is much more important, and finding the right person is much more crucial to the entire process. That's what it is. So now going into from consulting to talent, right? So now let's say you've got a core team, you've got all these things sorted out, and then you want to hire lateral talent who are working in big companies, because you think that they will be able to add value, and they are having big bucks in the you know earning big bucks in the corporate that they're working in. So how do you kind of attract talent? How do you structure that and all of that? Sudarshan, for you first.
So see, often the best person may not be the right person. That's how I think about it. The reason for that is because I, as a company, I'm at a different life stage. So I may know somebody who's probably the best person who set up maybe for one of the largest FMCG companies. He set up the distribution, heads the entire national sales. Would be perfect for, would be the right person to make me a very large company. But a, I can't afford him. B, he will just not fit into my culture and where I am as a life stage, right? As a brand, as a company. So he may be the best person to be able to build out 100 crore brand, but he may not be the right person for me right now. So which is why knowing where you want to be, and then often there are people who want to get into a more dynamic environment, but again there is their own life stage and their own preferences where because of which they are unable to move it. Could be financial, could be location, could be any other reason, right? But out of the pool you will find someone who are willing to make that switch, and you want to find that person who's willing to make that switch because he is that passionate about it. If someone is just okay, I am this, I'm so and so, and then I have to, so I need the same kind of package, I need the same kind of infrastructure team so that I can execute, as against someone who's saying, look, I want to be in a more dynamic environment where I'm building it from scratch, right? So you throw the requirement, and then there will be one set of people who will find it, ki, this is exactly what I want to do. So there may be national sales head for 10 of the top FMCG companies, but one of them is really, really, really keen on getting onto and building something from scratch. The rest of the nine may not be, and that's really the person who's the right person for you. He may not be the biggest company person, but he'll, from an attitude and from the life stage perspective, he's the right person for you.
Got
So
it.
put out the request, talk to people, and more importantly, just say where this is going to be. I think they just have to see the larger story and purpose. You should be selling that all at all point of time. You sell your large story and the purpose and where you want to be. There will be enough people who will say, "Yeah, this is where I want to be today for the next 3 years." And it won't be everyone. It will be limited set of people, but you have to work with those people.
Got it. For this, how do you approach this talent? How do you get this talent? So, do you have a large TA team, or do you have somebody who is doing TA for you, or do you
It's a
work in
combination. So
combination?
there are, I mean, you can put job postings. That's one. Second is your own HR will reach out to, especially if it's senior thing, they'll reach out to certain people who fit the bill. And third is, as a, today as a founder, you have to build a founder brand and you have to keep talking about yourself, about your company. You have to keep selling yourself from the perspective of where you want to be. And people who connect with that purpose are usually, over a period of time, start following you. And then when you put out a thing and they may, again, like I said, it's a very time dependent and life stage dependent, but they may then say, okay, I want to take this call. So, I see literally every day I get multiple DMs from various people who are saying, look, it's time I really want to explore something, and do you have something, or I would like to talk, all of that, and that keeps coming. And but it's a matter of timing. At that point of time, I may not have something. At another point, I may have something. So I think you just have to be out there to make people know that this is what you're looking for. Some people are either following you or word gets there.
Got it.